Hey, what's he doing outside the castle? Well, I'm glad you asked. I've got a bit of a story to tell you. The backdrop of this story is in Conisbrough, so I thought it's rude, isn't it, not to come and have a look at Conisbrough Castle. So it gets myself set up, gets my camera charged, and heads over to Conisbrough. It's about a 5 or 6 minute drive, if that. It's shut. Hey, I didn't know this, but they shut it out of season. They put the fortress up. But look at that bugger. Here, have a look. Now then, built in around 1180, 800-year-old. It stands at about 25, 26 metres tall. It's incredible, isn't it? And hey, I've been taking it for granted all these years. I've driven past straight in my car and it's just been background. It's just been like scenery. You've got a castle in your neighbourhood. You forget it and it's just gobsmacking into it when you can see it. When it's better weather and when it's open, we'll go inside and have a look. I fancy coming here and it's shut. There, well, any road up. I think this is interesting. If you can stick with me, see who can get halfway. See if you can get halfway through this vlog without turning off. Because it just gets a bit weird. Spoilers, I'm going to be talking about a few strange things. But I'm not talking today about the monk that's supposed to haunt here, or the lady in grey that's supposed to walk around this top of this keep here, or I don't know which part's keep. Hey, if you're wanting historical and if you're wanting more historical accuracy, then I would suggest going to By the Curb, my mate Jimmy. But I can't guarantee it's all accurate what he tells you. He tells me it's accurate, but you'll have, you make your own mind up. But it is a lovely, lovely place, this. And like I said, I'm guilty of taking it for granted. How many of you have got a castle near your village? Or how many? I mean, some people in countries, they don't have them, do they? We've still got this. And rumour has it, Doncaster Council allegedly have got about a 20 million budget to rebuild it and purpose it as a new shopping mall, and have hairdressers inside and bookies and you know, all stuff that we need around here. I'm on kidding. But what makes me think that is, that's Conisbrough Castle now as it stands, and it's lasted all them years, and it's just testament to, you know, it had to stand there, didn't it? And all this would have been just grass and fields, and you had to fight your way up to get to castle. There'll be people that's died here, there'll be people that's, you know, lived in there that can tell a tale. It's even featured in a famous book. I think the book's Ivanhoe, a famous author wrote the book. I'll put him on here because I can't remember by now. But yeah, it's featured in the book Ivanhoe as Conisbrough or Conisbrough, but that's the bugger. You can walk round it, you can walk round perimeter, but it's really uneven, and I'm not up for walking at minute too far. I buggered myself up. If you've joined the channel recently, you'll see that we've got some videos up now of, or we should have, being abroad in foreign climate with some other YouTuber. You probably guess who it is already. I'm going off topic. It's all about the backdrop though. It's all about this castle and this place, Conisbrough. And that's how we pronounce it. That is the correct way for the Yorkshire pronunciation. Conisbrough. So the first part, Conis, it's not a pleasant word, is it, to be fair? But that's what it is. You know, it probably meant a lot more different things in them times, didn't it, Connie? Anyway, bro, you just say it like your brother, wouldn't you? Bro. Conisbrough. But it's spelt different, as you'll see from the text. Well, what else have we got in Conisbrough? I can tell you what we have got in Conisbrough. My word. Some of you will know. Hey, did you know Donald Pleasance, the absolute legend of an actor? He was from this neck of woods, Conisbrough. His mum and dad lived here. Dr. Sam Loomis from Halloween come from Conisbrough. I did, straight. It still blows my mind, that, to this day. Fantastic actor. And of course, he survived the fire, he survived everything against all odds to keep coming back in Halloween, even when his skin were bad after the fire. Sounds too familiar, that, to me. Any road. The other, this is a really tenuous, whatever link. This Nick Castle played Michael Myers in Halloween, and that's obviously Conisbrough Castle, so not the best of links, really, is it? But yeah, there she is. Hey, it's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Conisbrough Castle. Hey, take it for granted. Alright, join me tonight for this little vlog that I'm doing. I'm going to tell you a story, one of mine that's personal to me from back in my childhood, that made me get on my BMX and trek it down here. Miles it were. Well, it felt like it at the time, any road, because it's all hills. Yeah. And I'm also going to tell you about something strange that happened in Conisbrough in the late 60s that made international news and still is doing. A certain type of news anyway. The creepy kind. It looks totally different now. Totally different. Just look. But it is getting too cold for my old joints. So let's finish this story in a bit more comfort. Come on, come with me. Right, let me try and get a light on so we can see what we're doing and what we're saying. Because the only light is coming from that castle and you're not going to be able to see that, are you? So let me be fair with you. And they might think that there's something dodgy going off in this car now I've lit it up. Oh, I'll probably get done for dogging. Oh, there's one now. Right. Can I get this to stand up? Because last time I did a vlog in car, it went all right until I hit one of them bloody potholes. And then we'd know what to come, hadn't we? The camera did one. Is that a bit piss off? Chuffing thing. Yeah, I'm alright setting a creepy story up. Bastard thing. Get out. So where this one starts, for me, and this personal side of it, is I were at school, and as you do, you're swapping magazines around as lads. You know, not them ones. No. Not on this occasion. Unexplained magazine were quite something, and it was available in newsagents. It had stories about ghosts, it had stories about unexplained events, phenomena, and all sorts of strange things. And I'm a strange bugger, as you know, and as a kid, I were intrigued. So I had a copy of Unexplained. Can you imagine this? This is Conisbrough that we're in, right? It's not Nevada, it's not Area 51, it's not in America, it's not Mexico, it's Conisbrough. Bear with me. I opened page up and there were 3 silver saucers in a black and white photo, and they were flying up in the sky, and they looked like UFOs, we used to call them. They're now known as UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, I think it stands for. Okay, now, looking at that, I thought, that is bizarre. But the thing that got me is when I looked down at the photo, at the bottom of the photo, I couldn't believe it. It said Conisbrough. And I thought to myself, that's not going to be Conisbrough, like our Conisbrough, just a couple of villages away, is it? And it were. That got me. Something as close as that. That really, really got me. And it pulled me in and drew my attention in. And I thought, it's a stone's throw away, is Conisbrough. What's this story all about? Well, it's quite well documented. It's been coming up again every decade, every so often. These UFOs in skies over Conisbrough. There's a lot of debunking going off and people saying, oh, you know, it was something like an arrangement of objects that they didn't garden and photoed through a window. You know, that type of trick, right? But when this photo was taken, it was taken by a young man. He was just a normal guy. I think he was an apprentice miner. He just had his camera. And let's just think back to when this was taken in late 60s. I think it was 69, but I'll check. Give me a minute. I'll move this camera angle and all because it's a twat. Yeah, so thinking back, it's 1966 in Conisbrough. And this young apprentice miner, if you like, when he looked up in the sky, what he saw was a glowing ball of light. And he thought, whoa, what's that? He had his camera on him. Bear in mind, cameras weren't freely available. Not every household had a camera in the 60s, did they? So he was lucky in some respect. He'd got a camera in house and he picked it up and he saw this glowing light in the sky and he clicked and that were it. He took his picture and he says to people, I've just seen this weird light and I don't know what it is. Fast forward, because not everything were instant, certainly not then. He sends the camera negative off for the films to be printed, if you like. So he sent the camera, the photos came back and he were absolutely, he were amazed by it because they weren't a glowing dot in the sky. There were 3 sources in the night sky, 3 sources. So he was completely flummoxed because he thought he took a picture of something like a meteor and he ends up with these 3. And you can, I will put a photo on of this photo from the 60s. You can have a look yourself, right? I am not saying that it weren't fake. Just let's get that absolutely clear before I get hammered in comments, right? I laugh and joke about stuff like flat earth and things like that. Don't want to offend anybody. I've just got a funny sense of humour, right? Okay. So when these pictures came back and he got them in his hands, he was showing them everybody and he couldn't believe it. And now, back in the 60s, who knows who believed him? But there certainly weren't people that he could give them to publicise widely other than newspapers. And it's very similar. It's got some sort of feel to it, this story, as the one with when I said about that ghost that we had caught on tape at school. Of course, it can't be proven it's a ghost, but it got sent away for analysis. And this is where it's similar, because the photos that he had of this saucer and the film were sent away to Polaroid for analysis. And this is all documented, this. The experts who developed the film had another look and said, oh, up to them, and bear in mind 66, right, keep that at the back of your mind. According to them at time anyway, the photo was definitely not tampered with and it was definitely not a trick, according to them. This lad has been invited onto UFO seminars and things like that since. I'll not say his name. I don't even know if he's still with us. I could take you to the street now where it was allegedly took this photo. Well, it were took. I could take you to the street where it was took, but I'm not going to do that either. So, bear with me. It gets better because they couldn't, like I said, they couldn't say if it was a UFO. He thought he saw like a meteor. It then develops its 3 discs. Strange lights in sky over Conisbrough. Ooh, little freeting there. And he's never ever changed his story in the years, the decades after. He never changed his story. He doesn't say what it was. He just says, I saw a ball of light in the sky. When the picture came out, it were 3 discs. So that's just incredible. But for me personally, it really did frighten me. In a way, I were intrigued. I thought, hey, I can get to Conisbrough. It's only a couple of bus stops away. I'll go and have a look. Bear in mind, this is a couple of decades later when I'm at school. So we'd speak about this story more at school, and to my friends that were a little bit interested in this sort of weird and wonderful, and try and, you know, build a picture of it. We'd talk about Conisbrough and UFOs or strange things in the sky. We got together, and this is before Stranger Things. This is in 80s. We all had Rally Burner BMXs. Absolutely fantastic bike. I wish I still got mine. But we decided that we'd go on a day on his BMX bikes, down to Conisbrough. And of course, as you can see, it's on a hill, but the joining villages, Mexborough, Swinton, and leading up past Denaby to Conisbrough, it starts to climb a hill a bit, so there's quite a way to go. Now, I must admit, I weren't allowed. My mum had killed me, probably still now. She wouldn't allow me to go further than, she'd say, go round block on your bike, don't go out of Swinton, basically, which is quite a big place anyway. But we had this plan, we stuck together, and we went on his bikes, and I had that feeling, and some of you might relate to this. You get so far on your bike when you were a kid, you get so far you think, I best turn around now because my mum's going to go mad if she sees me down this neck of woods. But we'd come really far. We'd come to the back end of Mexborough, and it were only a couple of villages left. So we carried on, and then we got almost there, and we thought, it's too far to go back just yet anyway. We need to come and see. I don't know what we thought we were going to see. Hey, we didn't see nothing, right? I'll tell you now, I'm not going to build this up to we saw something. Back then I saw nothing, but the feeling of coming on your bike so far from home and driving with your buddies, and we're talking about this story about this this sighting in the sky. We were pedalling faster, we were inspired, we were part scared, part running on adrenaline. We were going to be in trouble because we were too far from home. We were too far to turn back, and we'd spoke about it for days and days and days. And it was one summer day we got here, and we pulled up as bikes over at wall here at Castle, and we had a look, and we looked into the sky, and we didn't see, like I said, we didn't see anything strange. But that feeling of coming so close and coming to the place where the alleged UFO was seen. Why did it come over Conisbrough? If it was a UFO, I always think, why over Conisbrough? And I think it's part, when you see and you hear about strange craft and things in the sky, they go over like landmarks, they'll go over like army bases and things like that. If it is real and it is a phenomena, something is interesting to a visitor, isn't it, if there is one, right? And Conisbrough Castle, were they on like some sort of, this sounds outlandish, but bear with me again. What if there were visitors from somewhere outside our solar system and it were real, and they came and they wanted to see what a castle were like, or, you know what I mean? Or perhaps if it were a time traveller, because some people think it's interdimensional. Now, this is the point where I've lost most of my subscribers. And you've all turned off because I'm not on holiday somewhere, or I'm not talking. You think I've lost it. I ain't. I'm level-headed. I'm asking questions, and we'll talk about it in comments. So the thing is, Yeah, no, they don't know what it were. So we can't say exactly it were fake. The photo were real. Were it a stage thing? I don't know. Anyway, we didn't see anything, and we got, pleased to report, we got back in one piece. But we always talk about that summer day where we had that massive long bike ride. A bit like Stand By Me as well, isn't it? A massive bike ride into an area where we'd not really been on as bikes, looking at history, looking at the castle, looking up into the skies. Could we see out, you know? Were we going to be lucky ones to see something? We didn't have a camera either. But no, we didn't. But it got me thinking, not straight away, not when I was a kid, but about 10 or 20 years ago, it became familiar, some of the things that I remembered from a kid, and they like come back to you in little bits, don't they? And this might be my mind playing tricks with me. It could be, there's a word for this, the way you're remembering stuff differently. Does anybody know what that is called in comments? You think you remember something from your childhood, but it might have not have happened, right? So, spoilers, I don't know if this happened. Again, not claiming it did, but my memory, if it serves me right, we had a bungalow as well as the fish shop in South Yorkshire. We had a bungalow. We were very lucky because my dad did really well with his fish and chip shop. And he had another property, a bungalow, and it was at the coast on near Skegness. So we used to go there and come back. Now, I don't know if you remember, or if anybody's from this neck of woods, it used to be a decent run to Skegness. Few windy roads, put your foot down, you were away. Now it seems to have had an hour on journey. I don't know why. There's bypasses, you know. Obviously, roads have got safer, which is a good thing to a degree. But what I'm trying to say is, back then, I'd be only about 10 or 12. I were in back at car, and we were coming back from Seaside, from my mum and dad's bungalow. In fact, I'd be younger. I think I'd be about 7 or 8, actually. And I remember we were on this back lane, and it were a clear night, and it were dark, it were night time, and we were driving home, and I think it was my dad's Rover. We're driving along this road, and all I remember is the car stopping and no lights anywhere. I remember my dad having to walk to a farm for assistance, because my mum were in the car with me. I think about 7, I think. My dad walked at farm and tried to get assistance, or AA, let's say. And we seemed to have been there ages. And I remember looking up into the sky and seeing a massive ball of light. Now, if my memory serves me right, this coincided when cars stopped. And what's really strange about this memory is it's really vivid. I remember no lights on in car just stopping, my dad walking to get help. But then I don't remember much else. I remember him, we got started, I think AA van came, because I remember then everything lit up because there were a van and my dad were back, and they got car going. So we got home all right. But there was a massive ball of light in the sky, and I remember the only thing my mum said at the time were, "What's that?" And she said something like, "There's no noise, it's not an helicopter." And I kind of forgot about that, and it come back to me a couple of years ago. That memory come back to me. And I've asked her, "Mum, do you remember when we broke down? Oh, we were always breaking down." Well, we weren't really, because my dad always had a decent car. And I told this story because I do remember having to get AA once, but I don't really remember a light in the sky or anything like that, love. And I was like, you know what I mean? It's one of them, isn't it? That's as close as I've... But more recently, and this is where 100% most people will turn off because they think I'm crackers at this point, right? I've got to tell you, because I want an answer to this, and it's bugging me. It's been bugging me for ages. When you watch this back, it's probably going to be going out after I come back from where I'm going. So I'm going away with another YouTuber. You probably guessed who it is already. So it'll be when I come back. So you might have seen some abroad videos and things like that. All right. So yeah, this is totally different normally. I do a mix of things. I tell stories like this and life events, and sometimes we'll go abroad and things, and I'll try and document it, and I'll try and help somebody. But this is where I'm asking you for help. And let me just see if this camera's still recording. Yeah, it is. This is where I'm asking my audience, which I'm really proud about, or anybody in comments if they can help me with this one. This is where, I ain't even told my wife this, I don't think. I have a reoccurring dream, right? That I'm looking up into the sky, and all of a sudden, it's not like the sky now, it's really colourful. Like really colourful, like you can see different solar systems. And there's one particular thing near us, and it's massive, and it's like, how can I explain this? It's like when I'm looking at it, it's a planet, but it's way too close to us. But no one's freaking out in this dream. No one's like going, oh, it's going to crash. We all just go, oh, it's almost like, oh, that's what it is. And this planet's like greeny blue. It looks like Earth, but I'm looking at it, and it's closer than Moon. So I don't even know if that would affect the gravity, or you know how far-fetched that is. Well, it is far-fetched because it's in my dream, but and this planet's like, I can hear static on it. It's really strange. And this is a repeated dream that I've been having. I've not told anybody, so you're up first. I don't think I've told Chaz. This is a repeated dream I've had since maybe the last 10, 15 years. And then a couple of weeks ago, I've not had that dream for months, if not last year probably, but it has repeated. But a couple of weeks ago, or months, I think a couple of weeks ago it were, I had a dream, and it was much more vivid than that, much more vivid. And I was stood there, and there were people outside, and we'd come onto the street to look into the sky for some reason. And as I'm looking up into the sky, I can see lines going across sky, and then lines were stopping. And it were almost like someone was shooting across, but then stopping midair, stopping. It looked like Defender, but real, an 80s arcade game. And then in the middle of the sky, are you still with me here? I'm all right, honestly. Don't call for help. In the middle of the sky, there were a round, glowing ball, right? Like a ball of light. But it looked huge. It looked, let's say, a couple of sizes down from Moon. But then, I got this feeling to call it. This is weird, I know. Bear with me. So I was like beckoning it. And as it come closer, it reduced size right down, and when and I don't know if this thing were trying not to scare me, so it kind of reduced its size. I know, bear with us. So it kind of reduced its size to like a sphere, and I almost held my hand out to it, but I didn't hold my hand out to it, and it stopped about 2 foot away in front of me. And I looked into this ball, and it were like all different colours, like plasma, but all different colours. And when I looked into it, it were clear. And inside, there were what I could only describe as some sort of being. It was some sort of being and I just saw outline of it, and I can't tell you what face were like. And it pulled up a screen inside this ball, and I was compelled to read this screen that were there in front of me, right? This screen. Now, this is a vivid dream. This is like, it's to go on for ages. I couldn't sleep after this. I could not sleep. Don't drink much. I don't take recreational drugs. you know, I've survived 90s. I don't do any of that. You know, I have to have medication, but I've been on the same medication for years. You know, the notes change. I can't explain. Anyway, I hope you're still with me, because I want an answer if anybody could answer it. So I'm looking inside this thing, this ball, if you like, and I can see in clearly, and there's like a square screen, but it's like a curved monitor, and I can see it, and something was compelling me, like I said, to read the screen, to read it, to look at it and understand it. But when I looked at the screen, it were like a different language with symbols, but they were, and I can see it now, like binary dots and things, different symbols. I thought, I can't take this in. It were like being back at school with maths, which I'm terrible at, you know, algebra and that. But I was like, and I remember this thing telling me, you're taking it in, you are taking it in, and I couldn't tell you what it were. I couldn't write symbols down because it were like something I'd not seen before. But one of the things on there were like a web address. It were like www. something, and I've tried to think what it were. I have no idea, but it looked like a web address. It might not have been. But then I saw this thing, and it was compelling to look at, and I thought, I can't remember that, but this thing's telling me to remember it, like sending me a program. Do you know what I mean? And I looked. And I couldn't make any sense. Like I said, I couldn't make sense, and then it just disappeared. And I woke up, and when I woke up, I didn't want to go back to sleep. Not that I was scared, but I just could not get this text and these images out of my head. I thought, I've got to write this down. I don't know what it means, because you know that you can get people that interpret dreams and stuff, can't you? Well, that's what I was trying to look at. And yeah, I made some notes on my phone. I'll see if I've still got them, because this were weird as well. I'll edit this bit. Right. It was this month. It were only a couple of weeks ago. It was this month, right? Right. So it was green and orange. This ball. This is what I've written down. It says that I asked them to come to me, but I didn't ask. I kind of wanted them to come to me. One came, and I could see inside was like a hologram, which I've said, with a typical being, like an outline of a person or being, showing me a sheet of paper or screen curved with letters and websites and internet dots. It were more than that. It were like symbols. So I woke up. I woke up, this is what I want to tell you. I woke up with the following words and phrases in my head. Makes sense, missing since, missing sense. Makes sense, missing since, missing sense. And I don't know what that means, but to me it felt like I'd got a sense of something there that had not been there before, like it were missing. Again, I have no idea. Makes sense, missing sense. Makes sense, missing since, like it's been missing since a while. And then it all then went into missing sense, like a missing sense or something. Honestly, I've not smoked anything. I don't do that. I'm a good lad. But I thought I'd share that with you. So it is a bit left field, isn't it, tonight? My question to you, anybody who's watched it to end, you're an absolute legend, because this isn't my usual setup at all. And it's not a usually done vlog, but I thought I'd share a couple of things whilst I'm with you and whilst I've got some of your attention. There's 2 of you left, I know. Thanks. Does anybody know if that dream is anything to do with, like, I don't know, is there a meaning behind it, or were it just my brain just making sense of the day, stuff I've read, stuff I've looked at? I weren't looking at doing this vlog about the sighting in 1966, I weren't even researching it at that point. I weren't really watching anything to do with sci-fi. Not really. There's nothing specific where I'd think, oh, I'll just watch that Alien series, then, oh, that's what's on my mind. It just kind of is a reoccurring dream about these planets in the sky, and then a reoccur, and then this one, this is a new one, sorry, not a reoccurring one, with the orb that comes up to me. I say orb because obviously I've looked on internet and people are saying there's orbs of plasma, there's this, that, other being seen, and no one knows what it is. And I tell you what it could be. Distraction. There's a lot of distraction because there's worlds. It's a funny old world, isn't it? A minute. I don't watch news because it's just so horrible, isn't it? So maybe it's a distraction for something that's going off and somebody's putting fake stuff up there, or saying they've seen stuff in the end. I'm not here to say what's real and what's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm straight talking. I know I mess about, but I am straight talking when it comes to things like this. But will you just have an open mind, and can anybody come back and say what it might have been? And also, what do you think? Have you got a weird story or sighting of anything strange in your local town, village or area? Because that Conisbrough UFO one, I don't know too much detail about it, do I? But it's 1966 and people are still talking about it in magazines and online and things like that. So he's kept it the same story, that's what I will say. But yeah, I really do appreciate you watching me. It's getting too cold to carry on, so I don't know if I'll put this together and put this one out. But if my planning's anything like it should be, because I'm trying to get more planned, I should be releasing a vlog every week at least, maybe one or two that I want to move to. But by the time this goes out, you will have seen, I think, the first Benidorm. Oh, I've said it now, haven't I? Well, you'll have seen it, so I'm not spoiling it. You'll have seen me and James in Benidorm. Spoilers done. Boom. Hopefully. And we'll make it back in one piece and have a good time. I hope we do. Right. Thanks for watching. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already and you've seen this video, you're probably not gonna. But please do. If you haven't liked or commented before, it would make it really nice if you were part of the community and drop me a comment, even if it's just say, JT, I think you had too much cheese that night. I won't take offence. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a pleasant evening. Take care, look after yourselves, and you never know, do you? All right, cheers.